Welcome to part 1 of the training videos on the KWIZ List Aggregator app. The List Aggregator app is a SharePoint client-side web part which can aggregate data from various data sources and display the aggregated data using Lego-style controls. In this first video, I will introduce the app and the different data sources it can connect to. I will then demonstrate using the app to connect to an Excel file in SharePoint. Here is the List Aggregator app in a SharePoint site. It is connecting to and displaying data from an Excel file. The interface for displaying data has all the options of the List View Plus app, including controls for tabs, groups, paging, and filters. Let's show you how to configure the app. I have already installed the app to my tenant and SharePoint site. Therefore, I can add the List Aggregator as a web part to my page. I need to edit the settings of the web part to connect to a specific data source. There are 4 types of data source which I can connect to. Data in an Excel file stored within SharePoint. Data from across Office 365 using the Graph API. Data aggregated from lists in multiple SharePoint sites. Data from a SharePoint search query.
When working with SharePoint data, the SharePoint List Aggregator data source is more suitable for aggregating content in a single site collection. This is because there is additional configuration required for using SharePoint Search as a data source. SharePoint Search data source is faster when working with SharePoint data across multiple site collections or even the whole tenant.
This video is going to focus on connecting to an Excel file. Other videos show how to connect to the other data sources. Firstly, let's look at the Excel file I want to connect to. It is called Purchase Orders and it is stored in a document library in my SharePoint site. It contains a number of columns of information and multiple rows of data. In order to select the data in the List Aggregator app, I have defined the data as a table in Excel. Returning to SharePoint, I browse for the Excel file in my document library. I then select my table in the Excel file. You can see the List Aggregator app has connected to my Excel data and is displaying it as if it was a SharePoint list. By default, it brings in all the columns from my table in Excel. I can change this by going onto the second page within the List Aggregator settings panel. Here I can override this default and define which columns to include. I can select a column from the Excel file and give it a friendly name. I can decide whether it should be displayed in the table view and the type of data. I can continue to add which columns I want from the Excel table. I can also change the order of these columns in the web part. Like the List View Plus app, I can now configure the List Aggregator app using the Lego style UI. For instance, I can change the title of the web part in the settings of the menu control. I can add other controls, for instance a filter. I can configure the filter with the option to filter on a specific column from my Excel data. Videos on the List View Plus app will show you how to add further controls including groups, paging and tabs. In this video, I showed you the basics of the List Aggregator app. I also demonstrated how the app could be used to connect to data in an Excel file. Thank you for watching this training video. If you need any further information, please contact QuizCom using the details on screen.